You may have heard that diversification is key, but are you really diversified? I bet you aren't as diversified as you really think you are. Here's what I mean. Diversification isn't about just having lots of funds and lots of accounts. It is actually about having uncorrelated asset classes, different tax qualifications, and different buckets. I've done this for years, and I can't even begin to tell you how many people have come in to see us and they think they're diversified. They might have 10 to 12 different funds in their 401k, but all of them might be in the same asset class, like maybe they're all US large cap, so that really isn't diversified. If you have multiple US large cap growth funds within your portfolio, it is likely that those funds will perform within 1% or 2%. Specific funds can make a difference over time, but it's generally the asset classes that outperform or underperform in a given year. That's why it's important to be diversified and have exposure to multiple asset classes. In a perfect world, you would pick the top performer, and just before it shot up, you would move your money to it. Where's my crystal ball? Haha. But I don't have a crystal ball. No one does. So you have to make plans and be diversified. Look, here's the reality. It's nearly impossible to predict the top performing asset class years in a row, which is, again, why diversification is key. That was one of the reasons I chose the investment team that provides the professional money management for my clients. I have been working with them for 11 years now. Our philosophy is rooted in diversification with a smart strategy that is kind of between a buy and hold and a tactical strategy. There's a rhyme and reason to the trading that we do. I'll give you an example. Maybe you don't know this, but your 401k in most cases would be what we would consider buy and hold because you're in, maybe multiple funds, but no one's actually professionally managing them. No one is trading or making changes. They're kind of moving with the market ups and downs. So that's really kind of the big difference between buy and hold and then professional money management, where we're actively trading based on the movement of the asset classes on behalf of our clients. That being said, here's another thing I see. Folks may have 4 different buckets or accounts, but they may be in the same risk category. So for example, they might have 1 401k and 3 IRAs, but they're all in moderate aggressive or they're all in moderate. So likely they're kind of moving in unison. I genuinely believe that if you are nearing retirement, it is not a good idea to have all of your money in aggressive accounts because you would be subject to a major market crash. Conversely, I also don't think it's a good idea to have all of your money in conservative accounts, or you run the risk of not keeping up with inflation. Inflation erodes your purchasing power. If you're comfortable living on a lifestyle of $100,000, 10 years from now, you're going to need more than $100,000 to keep up with that lifestyle with inflation. But let me take a step back and just explain the risk categories for a second. There are typically 5 risk categories in financial planning. It starts with conservative, then we've got moderate conservative, then we've got moderate, and then moderately aggressive and fully aggressive. Now, Jamie, what does that mean? Well, when you're conservative, then you likely are not going to have as high returns over time as being aggressive. However, when you're conservative, you're also not going to have as large swings or what we call volatility. So it's important to assess your risk and align that with what makes sense for you. When a new client comes in to meet with us, we run an analysis comparing their current portfolio to what we might suggest. After we've gotten to know more about their goals and risk tolerance, of course, this analysis compares the level of diversification, the fees, the risk levels, and the returns over time based on past history. And it's very easy to compare these side by side. This is why people love working with us. Our approach is to help you align with your risk tolerance, but it's not by suggesting that you invest only in the category that you scored into. Essentially, we would recommend that you have those different buckets with different objectives, and the culmination of those buckets would get you closer to the score that you officially scored into. So I'll give you an example. Maybe you scored moderately right in the middle. Well, we would recommend that you have one conservative account, some money in aggressive, maybe some in moderate aggressive, and that culmination and the percentages of the money that are in those different levels of risk bring you to a moderate investor, not all of your money just being in a moderate level. Lastly, I want to talk about tax diversification. This is so important. One of my favorite questions to ask someone when they come in to see us is, where do you think taxes are going in the future? Do you think taxes are going up? Are they going down? Are they going to stay the same? And the way that you answer that question, it helps us to determine, which strategies to help you employ and which ones do we focus on first. There are 3 tax qualifications. There's tax deferred accounts like your 401ks, your IRAs, 403bs. There are taxable accounts called non-qualified. Think of your bank account or a brokerage account where you're, paying some taxes every year. And then there are tax-free accounts like Roth IRAs, Roth 401ks, where you've already paid tax on the principal, but then that growth is growing tax-free. And in the future, when you take it out, you don't pay any taxes based on current tax law. We are big proponents of tax diversification to help our clients to have some tax control in the future. Especially if you're younger, you should consider doing Roth conversions or contributing to a Roth IRA if you're eligible. Our takeaway for today is don't put all of your eggs in one basket. So, wrapping this up, I want you to see that diversification in your investments and your tax strategies isn't just good advice. We feel it is genuinely imperative for planning for your best retirement. The you in 10, 20 years will be thankful to the you today for taking the time to take this advice. And remember, peace of mind is something you build on purpose. Now subscribe to the channel and I'll see you next time.
We want to help be your guide along the way about how to, access your money and the best places to get it with the ups and downs. And we want to help you to take advantage of those different market cycles. So if that's what you're looking for, please reach out to us.